Hi, I'm Jeanette Larsen with Growth Unlimited, and this is the third week progress video in personal development, my journey. I can't believe it. It's already the end of the third week, and my personal challenge to create my awesome life is just flying by. I can't believe how fast the time's flown. The past 3 weeks have been chock full of all sorts of things that I'm doing to make an improvement in the way that my life is going. And the thing that's most exciting of all is, even though it's only been 3 weeks, I have completed 2 courses and I'm actually seeing a difference in my life. This is so exciting to me, and I never dreamed that things could happen so fast. Let's see, what are we talking about today? Okay, in the video today, I'm going to be talking about the things that I'm doing and how I've progressed since the last time I reported to you. But before we get started, I want to remind you that if you like hearing about what I've been doing, and maybe I'm helping you with some ideas of things that you can do to take control of your life as well, I would love to have you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and be sure to hit the notification bell so that we can be sure that you get notified when new videos are posted in this series and other videos that we put on the channel. Also, if you want more information, because I don't have time to do a whole lot of detailed stuff that actually teaches the nuts and bolts of how this process is going, I don't have time to do that here on the channel, but we have Growth Unlimited has set up a brand new special group of people that will receive specific special emails and opportunities that will give you more information about how to do that. And the way you get involved in that email is by clicking on the link below this video to join Team Jeanette. Now, if you do that, what you get are 1 or more emails a week that gives you more details of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, and how, if it's something that is something you would like to do in your life, you can incorporate it in your life. In addition to that, you will also receive opportunities for special webinars and online classes, live session online classes, where you can actually talk with me or with another professional that will help you work out those things in your life, so that there's a question and answer opportunity for you as well. And also, we are offering resources like tools and online classes and books, that kind of thing, available only to the people who are members of Team Jeanette. And so it's a great opportunity, and it costs nothing to join. We would like to invite you to do that. And you do that by clicking on the link below the video and sending us your name and your email address. And we will make sure you're on the list and include you in those things going forward. Okay, let's get back to what's going on. The biggest thing that I've learned over this 3-week period is that although I have set goals and worked on achieving them all my life, I find myself doing the same thing that I have been telling clients that they needed to stop doing. I think one of the things that happens when you get caught up in a goal, when you have something you're working on, is, first of all, you may not set it up so that it is a goal that is appropriate in length of time to do it. You may not have a goal that's set up to be SMART. That means that is specific and measurable, so you can track your progress. A goal that is achievable. That means a goal that you can do. For example, a goal that would not be achievable typically would be a goal that, for example, I had somebody come into my practice when I was a psychotherapist who told me she had to lose weight. She had to lose 40 pounds in 3 weeks. And I just looked at her. That, there are some goals that people set that are physically impossible to achieve. And there's no way, for example, she could lose 40 pounds in 3 weeks and remain healthy by any stretch of the imagination, even if it were possible that she could lose that much weight in that shorter period of time. But the thing is, you have to make your goals achievable so they can be achieved. And then this fourth one is realistic. And that one, being the R in SMART, it stands for realistic. And what that means is this goal one that you are truly willing to do? Because a lot of times we say things, yeah, I need to do this because so-and-so wants me to do it, but it's something you really don't want to do. And that's a goal that is not realistic, and it's a goal that's going to be set and failed because you're not going to be willing to do what's necessary to make it happen. And then the T in SMART stands for time constrained. You have to have a deadline that you're working towards so that you can measure your achievement of that progress. And now I've set SMART goals, but the problem is a lot of times there are also long-term, medium-term, and short-term goals. And a lot of times I find myself, just like I have my clients, getting confused a little bit as you start through the process of whether that goal that you're working on is a long-term, short-term, or medium-term goal. And maybe what you're doing is not focused on whatever length of goal you're working with. You might need to break the goal down a little more so it's a little more in bite size and able to be met. Or maybe you need to take that bite-sized goal that's not really that much of a challenge to you and lengthen it out, make it a little bit bigger so that it becomes more of a challenge and it keeps your interest. All of these things are going to help you achieve your goals more successfully. But like I said, I ran into some problems where I had some goals that I think probably a lot of them were they weren't realistic. And there were some time issues on some of the things that I was looking at too. And so over the last 3 weeks, I spent a little more effort on arranging the focus on what I had to be more effective. And that's probably one of the biggest takeaways I've had over this last 3-week period. Now, we talked earlier about the 3 Ps that I'm working on, my physical life, my personal life, and my professional life. And we're going to be, and next I'm going to kind of give you an update on where I am in each of those areas. The physical life goal was, my goal is to lose 100 pounds before the end of 2022. Very definitely SMART. It is specific, it is measurable, it is achievable, and I think it's realistic. I'm still working on a little bit. I have thought getting back into the diet scene for a very, very long time, but I decided that I really need to do something because I don't have the body style and the image that I want to present. And it's definitely time constrained. I have a deadline. And so that was a goal that was workable, but it was one that I haven't done a whole lot with. I've just kind of been sitting on it and not doing anything. And this week, I actually started looking for a health club that I could join that would have a program that would help me get into the exercise swing the way I need to. And also one that would be able to help with some of the other parts of this particular goal. And I've started the research on it. Okay, for my personal life, the goal was to try to reduce the number of judgments, negative judgments that I made, whether they were about myself or about somebody else or about a situation outside myself, to 3 or fewer a day. Now it's interesting because I was finding myself having a really hard time. I was seeing a really, really negative trend in my mindset before I started this personal development program. but I have been so busy over the last 3 weeks that, one of the things that's happened, and I find this really interesting because I never figured that I was so focused on that kind of thing in my life, but I have been too busy to make judgments. And I'm focused now on pulling forward, and I am averaging one or fewer judgments a day. And the ones that are cropping up, I am working with, because another part of this goal was my plan to deal with it was to do what I needed to do to reframe those and change my perception of what was going on and stop trying to take control of other people's lives by manipulating them to choose to do the things that I wanted them to do. And so it is that one I actually feel pretty good about. I think I'm making pretty good progress on it because I am following through with what I want to do to alleviate the problem when it does crop up, but it's cropping up far less than I was for a while there. And my professional goal. My professional goal was to gross $100,000 sales in 2022. And I want to give you a little bit of background about this. 3 years ago, when I started Growth Unlimited, I had left my very well-paying job as a psychotherapist. And I left that job because there were some ethical and values considerations that I had to put into place. My employer wanted me to do something that was against my values and against the ethics that I had as a therapist. And I was getting really tired of the whole situation anyway, because it appeared that most of the systems seemed to be designed at that point in time, and I think it still is, to keep people in therapy. The whole idea is to keep people coming back because that keeps the therapist in business. That's not why I was a therapist. And if I was not allowed to motivate and teach people what they needed to know so that they could take control of their own lives, I didn't want to do it. And so I backed away from it and became a life coach at that point and started Growth Unlimited, because as a life coach, I'm not constrained by the same rules and regulations that I was as a psychotherapist. And yet I can still do the things that I did as a psychotherapist. I just don't have all the rules and regulations, which gives me more control of my life. And I like that. And I thought everything would be fine because I have a business background and I've done well in business in the past. But I'll tell you, my business, Growth Unlimited, is an online business, and an online business is a totally different beast than a traditional brick and mortar business. And then when you added COVID in on top of everything else, it has been a really hard 3 years. And I had reached a point where I was just going, I don't think that I can keep going. I can't keep up losing money and working over 100 hours a week just simply to keep my business afloat, to be able to make the money elsewhere so I could pay for the cost of running the business. And yet it broke my heart because this is what I live for. And so I decided what I needed to do is really take a hard look at what was going on and decide whether continuing Growth Unlimited was going to be the best thing to do. And I still don't have complete answers. But the thing that I have found, the first thing I had to do was start generating revenue. I had to start having money come in. And so as part of this personal development program, I engaged a coach myself. And it's probably one of the best things I've ever done because, I have told people for years that, going to an expert and getting help when you need help is a great idea. But just like so many other people who practice the frugal lifestyle or who want to be independent, I fought against it myself, thinking that I could go get the books or I could do the studying or I could, take an online class or whatever, and that would take care of it. Well, it didn't. And yet I have found in just 3 weeks of working face-to-face with a coach, I am not generating revenue yet, but I am learning things that are unbelievably important as to why I have not been able to generate revenue in the past. And I anticipate that, I'm in the process of getting ready to launch a campaign right now that is, I think, going to make a really, really big difference. And I'm learning the nuts and bolts of how to engage with the customer so that I can help them make the decision that I know they want to make. But it's really exciting, and I'm seeing some neat things happening, and I'm looking forward to sharing more with you. Now, one of the things we're going to be talking about in Team Jeanette is how to create the plan that's necessary to create the kind of life you want to have. And so be sure to register for Team Jeanette and be sure to subscribe. And I'll talk to you next time. Have a great day. Bye now.